If you read John Stuart Mill's On Liberty, you're a philosopher. Have you read it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was very inspiring as a high schooler when I first read it.
Yeah, well, Mill says something interesting. He says, falsity, lies, are not, or truth is not inherently stronger than falsity. He says it's not true because people can be as fanatical about a lie as others are about truth. There's no inherent power for truth over falsity. He says, I'm now paraphrasing, if you have the power behind a lie, and you have what he calls the dungeon and the stake, meaning the force, the dungeon and the stake. Namely, you can take the truth tellers and put them, in jail and kill them, okay? He says then falsity can prevail for a very long time. And that's a pessimistic note, right? We like to think about the inherent power of truth. And he says, no, it's not true. He says, the great advantage of truth is this. It may be crushed once, twice, many times. But at some point, it achieves sufficient head, H-E-A-D. My students always laugh at that. But he meant sufficient headway that it can't be reversed. And then it becomes part of the inheritance of civilization. So you take examples. As we all know, slave uprisings have occurred since ancient times, going back to Spartacus, the slave uprisings. And they were crushed once, twice, many times. And then come the 19th century, the whole history of chattel slavery. I'm not talking about wage slavery now or other forms of slavery. Chattel slavery, it's completely overturned. It's abolished in the course of the 19th century. Once, twice, many times, but then there comes a moment where it achieves sufficient headway that it can't be reversed. And I think it's fair to say it's impossible to imagine chattel slavery being restored anywhere in the world at this point, at least legally, it being restored. And then the same thing happened with women's emancipation. Since the dawn of time, the proposition of the equality of women, male and female, women and men, has been put forth since ancient times, and it was crushed, suppressed, until not the 19th century, but the 20th century. And women won the right to vote. And I think it's fair to say again, however reactionary a regime comes to power anywhere in the world, it's unimaginable that they would abolish the women's right to vote. That has become part of the inheritance of civilization. It's irreversible, I believe. And we had in our own history, we had the slave rebellions crushed. There weren't that many, by the way, but to the extent that we had them, they were repressed, until a time came and they became irreversible. So on that note, we might be on one point in the trajectory to trying to achieve a certain degree of justice and putting nature on its natural course.